So Mike Huckabee is the former governor of Arkansas, a seat now occupied by his daughter, and he's the current ambassador to Israel. And he went on Twitter and he ranted about the British Prime Minister Starmer telling leaders to de-escalate the conflict in the Gaza Strip. He wrote on there, "So Israel's expected to surrender to Hamas and feed them even though Israeli hostages are being starved? Did UK surrender to Nazis and drop food to them? Ever heard of Dresden? PM Starmer? That wasn't food you dropped. If you had been prime minister then, UK would be speaking German." And then later on he writes, "How much food has Starmer in the UK sent to Gaza? Israeli PM has already sent 2 million tons into Gaza, and none of it even getting to hostages. Maybe UK PM ought to sit this one out and follow Arab League, who said Hamas should disarm and release all hostages immediately." So I'm not a fan of starvation, right? So, I wouldn't back Israel's hostage, the Israeli hostages of Hamas being starved. That's not something I support at all. Uh, but man, when you read this, specifically that first part, so Israel's expected to surrender to Hamas, feed them even though Israeli hostages are being starved. Did UK surrender to Nazis and drop food to them? They're really going to compare Hamas, a group which has done evil things with regard to murder, but has strictly been a faction that came out of the disenfranchised Palestinian element over there. You're going to compare that group to Nazis. You're gonna compare the faction that is Hamas to Nazi Germany. I'm not going to pretend I'm some expert on the Middle East, but I don't remember Hamas declaring its intentions to invade other countries or send Jewish people to gas chambers. I don't recall any of that, but I do remember the Israeli government dropping bombs on innocent people and starving people and doing a lot of the other things that I would associate with an actual oppressive regime. And man, like I said, when you read his comments, it doesn't even sound like the U.S. ambassador to Israel. It sounds like the Israeli ambassador to the U.S. It sounds like a individual who is working for the Netanyahu government, running interference and making the situation over there seem to be the fault of the oppressed side. And that's what kills me, that they're so brazen in their lack of concern or sympathy for, again, innocent Palestinians who are not Hamas getting killed. Oh, what about the Israeli hostages? Yeah, I don't. If they're getting starved, I don't support that either. But how do you compare this faction within Gaza to Nazi Germany? It's crazy, because we've said before that if anything, Netanyahu's government is more akin to. I mean, we call it what it is. They're committing a genocide, so they're more equivalent to the Nazis than anyone else in this equation. Yeah, Huckabee has to be one of the probably, I'd say, top 10 worst politicians of the last 30 years. Because like a lot of them do the whole, I believe in God and all the religious fervor stuff, but he's so up the backside of Netanyahu that it is embarrassing.